Once upon a time, there was a world full of laughter. Then a virus hit, and the whole thing was a disaster. But we got a show to let you know it's alright. It's alright. Even though it's only once a week, we guarantee you a front row seat at the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show once a week.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show. My name is Dave Juskow, and we come to you every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, especially while everything is going on. However, last week, the Comedy Cellar, at least the restaurant, opened up a little bit, so you can actually go down to the Olive Tree, sometimes I say the Olive Garden, on McDougal Street, and have dinner with some friends or some comics, and that's the best we can do now until everything opens up again. But on Tuesday nights, we try and bring you the best of the Comedy Cellar, and tonight is an epic show proportioned, and it's going to be totally fun. As always, there is the chat room. If you feel like donating, that's always a delightful thing to do as well. So let's start the show with the classic opening monologue. So let's see what's in the news today. Well, Kim Kardashian filed for divorce from Kanye West after 7 years of marriage, claiming that she lost her feelings for him. However, it should be noted that with all of her Botox, she's lost feelings for everything else, too. You know, a large piece of United Airlines engine fell into a neighborhood in Colorado, causing witnesses to look down at their weed, then up at the engine, then down at their weed, and then say, whoa. Thank you. This week, Daft Punk announced they were breaking up. The electronic music duo, who haven't released any new music since 2013, shocked the world with the news that they were actually still together up until now. So I should have a tie. Next time I got to bring them. Oh. Anyway, finally, liquor brand Moet Hennessy announced that it is buying a 50% stake in Jay-Z champagne brand. The other 50% will be poured out on the floor for his homies. His homies. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce my guests for this evening, for this epic show. He is a true rock legend, which was verified 3 years ago by being enshrined in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with his Bon Jovi bandmates. He is also one of two, at least that I can think of off the top of my head, rock and rollers to add a Tony Award to his mantle as well. The other one that I know being Pete Townsend. He's good. He continues to pump out new material with his day job band. And before COVID, his moonlighting gig was supposed to put out a brand new Broadway musical based on Princess Diana, simply entitled Diana. Please welcome to the show, David Bryan, everybody. Woo! Hello, Dave.
Woo!
Hello. Good evening.
She is a stand-up comic, model, and influencer, and co-host of the podcast Unabashed, which can be found on Spotify and iTunes and all of course, your favorite podcasting platforms. And if her intro isn't as lengthy as our first guest, given what her father has done with his extra time on the planet, I'm sure it will expand shortly. Please welcome Dave Bryan's favorite daughter, Gabby Bryan, everybody.
Hello. I'm a model, I guess. Okay.
Hand model.
Hand model.
And of course, his new tune, Is It Ever Now, came out a couple of weeks ago. It is available on iTunes for everybody. You can catch him on all social media accounts under Colin Smith Music. Please welcome, as always, Colin Smith, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. David and Gabby are actually together, even though for a second, if you look, it looks like you're separated and it's a green screen barrier. But now now we can tell you are together. At, I guess, I'm going to assume David's home because I don't think
actually my Brooklyn apartment.
Gabby, there's no way you could afford a room like that. Yeah, no.
I'm very rich off of my one podcast. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, if only that were true for everybody, especially me.
Yeah.
Well, David, first of all, thank you so much for coming on. This is like a high honor. And I know that actually, we usually start the show talking about how, not just how everybody's doing, because we usually have comics on, and of course, nobody's performing, but we've had in the past couple of weeks, a couple of people that are performing in April, or a couple of people that are going out to Nebraska. You, however, actually, one of my Patreon subscribers, Gabriel, had mentioned, he's like, Dave Bryan, he's one of the first celebrities to get COVID. That's what you're now known for. Congratulations.
Patient zero for
You and Tom
COVID.
Hanks. Yeah, you and your wife both had really bad cases of it. Is that right?
No, actually, I got it in New York when I was working on my Diana show, because there was 1,150 people for 9 previews from all over the world.
Oh.
And then I brought it home because I'm a giver.
Beautiful.
And I gave it to, I call it the COVID 7. I gave it to my wife and 6 friends
Ouch.
because I'm a giver. And she actually had no symptoms.
She was asymptomatic.
Yep, which is good. So she could take care of me because I was sick.
Yeah, you were really in bad shape, right?
Yeah, not hospitalized, knock on wood, or
Well,
still
you
sick.
know, I mean, you know Adam Schlesinger, right?
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah, and so
he was a friend,
Me
so
too.
It's a nasty disease. You can go from, or not a virus. I mean, you can go from nothing to dying. It's
well, his was the worst, the strangest case. When did you get yours?
March 12th is when they shut down. Not that I know this. March 12th, they shut down Broadway.
Right.
And then I was like, first I was like, a pandemic. What's that? And then I'm like, COVID, what's that? And then that Sunday I was in bed with it.
So that early.
Yeah.
That's what's so
The
weird.
world shut down.
Yeah. Yeah, but wow. So you had it right away. So my friend
wanted to
wasn't
get it out of the way.
lying.
Right.
That's a smart move. Yeah, well, it's kind of weird because Adam was working on Sarah's play. It seems like all the Broadway people seem to have a little or a big case of it. And it's weird because he had it in April, and I feel like he was somehow misdiagnosed. And if he had it later, he might be alive.
Yeah,
Major
it's
bummer.
terrible. I mean, Nick Cordero was my lead in Toxic Avenger.
Wow.
You know what
Is
I mean?
that right?
Yeah, on the off-Broadway production of it. So
Oh, that
that's-
poor guy.
terrible.
Oh, geez.
That was
I didn't realize
heartbreaking,
that.
like how it was stretched out over months too.
Yeah,
It
that
was
guy
really
had the worst
torturous.
case ever
And his-
that I've heard of.
No joke, but at least the vaccine is here and
Yeah.
the cavalry has come, and at least it's starting to save the world. So thank God for that.
Yeah. And what about you, Gabby? What did you did you go immediately home from Brooklyn?
No, I mean, I tried. Listen, I tried to come home. I was like,
Come on home, get coronavirus.
I was like, oh, just cough on my face and I'll get it too. It'll be like a family affair.
Like chicken pox.
Yeah, but no, I stayed in Brooklyn. I was not allowed to come home, obviously, because he was trying to, save me. And then cut to November, I did get COVID in Nashville.
What the hell were you doing in Nashville? What are you doing flying around?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I agree. I was on a work trip. Okay, I'm trying to do something, and
Work trips are all canceled.
exactly.
I don't
True.
understand.
I just thought maybe
You think because you're younger, you're better than us?
I'm
true.
better
You just
than
don't have work, Dave. It's different.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, I would have gone somewhere too, but I have no work.
Well, it must be torture for you. I mean, this is the thing, folks. The last time I saw Dave Bryan, he told me and this is the thing, when you're in a band, an amazing band that has such resilience and staying power. By the way, your 40th anniversary is you were formed in 82, right? So
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing, John and I, in a band since I'm 17. That was 1979. We started in high school. I was a junior in high school.
right. So I know you asked me to join the band and I said it wasn't going anywhere, so I just assumed.
Led Zeppelin, you'll never take off.
Well, you know what's weird? I knew the guys who did the Blue Man Group before they did it, and they're like, "We have this great idea," and I'm like, "Fellas, it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life."
Sounds dumb.
So I would definitely, had you asked me to join, I'd be like, first of all, the name is ridiculous. I think his dad did my hair in Woodbridge.
Fords.
Yeah, right on. But it was Woodbridge Avenue. Was it
Ford Avenue.
With
was
Patrick.
right where,
with Patrick?
I know.
Right? Yeah.
That's how bad. That's bad.
Patrick, I remember he was. I remember his house caught on. Patrick was, a very effeminate hairdresser, as they are. All hairdressers are either the manliest men, and they love women, or they're the exact opposite and just gay. And Patrick, I remember his house caught on fire once, and I said, "Oh no, the place caught on fire. The place caught the hairstylist place caught on fire." And I heard the place caught on fire. He goes, "Oh my God, it was awful. I just got this call, and all of a sudden I just ran outside and I go, oh my God, the place is on fire. The place is on fire. And I realize I'm out in the middle of the freezing cold with a t-shirt and bikini underwear. And I'm like, I don't know
Again?
why that story was necessary to tell.
Again.
How many times have I told you? Put on pants.
But yeah, so Dave, you told me the last time we were together that your schedule is such where you do the 1 year of touring and then 1 year is an album year. So if you're that regimented, which you are clearly, because I mean, Jesus, you just put out an album called 2020. Are you, by the way, upset that you called the album 2020 and maybe want to change it to 2019 where things were, people might not want to know?
Didn't see that coming, you know.
But I mean,
since the last pandemic.
But you told me that that's the sketch. So where do you have time to write a Broadway musical? Like, if you're so regimented, you know?
You know, a lot of it is really on before the world of Zoom. There was a thing called Skype, and
we were just talking about that.
exactly. And Joe DiPietro, my collaborator, he writes the story. I write all the music, and then we collaborate. And then we co-write the lyrics. So really, when I'm in hotel rooms and around the world when I'm working, I just like a day off or during the day. I know the set. I know the Bon Jovi songs, so I don't have to practice those. So we write is really when we do it.
I mean, that's like the funniest thing I've ever heard. There's like anybody that's a slacker like you know what I do when I am not performing is I watch television. And I'm really into that old show Family Affair now. That's what I've been watching. I mean, seriously, what the fuck? That's so unfair to even say, you know, when I'm not doing it, if I have a couple hours, I just write my Broadway musical. It's no big deal. Do you know how that makes a person like me feel, a big slacker like myself?
Yeah.
Geez,
Sorry.
that's what a work ethic. It's unbelievable, but it's paid off. Obviously, I feel like Gabby has the exact same work ethic. I've never seen anybody, or maybe I just don't know a lot of people following her. I've never seen somebody post so much and so busy and so hungry in a way.
Thank you. That's my work ethic where I just post on Instagram and
hey,
done
that's a
you
big
are
deal
hungry.
these days.
I'm hungry and I would like some money to buy food to feed myself.
Well, that's the other thing too. You're not trying to rest on your dad's laurels, and you are doing things for yourself, and it's very clear where your work ethic comes from. It's quite fascinating. My sister and I have the opposite. We just love watching television. I mean, we love it.
I mean, to be fair, TV is good.
Someone has to be on the other side of the Nielsen ratings.
Yeah.
I'm the last person that watches network TV. I think I'm the last person who watches network TV and buys magazines. I went into the Barnes and Noble at Menlo Mall last week, and I was so excited. I hadn't been, at a place like that in a year, and I just went to the magazine rack and I bought I put that Life magazine on the Mary Tyler Moore show.
Oh my God! Buy a monocle. What are you, 800?
That's fantastic. Good man.
I love that show.
I was so bad that I called my sister. I'm like, you got to read this magazine.
Dave, may I ask, when you're like developing a musical like that, I came close to kind of, COVID crashed. I was going to be on Broadway this year, but COVID put an end to that. We were in pre-pro and stuff like that. And I know how long it takes, to get stuff to a point. How, like with the show that was coming out, how long of, you said that he writes the story and you write the songs. Like, how long of a process is that from like seed to flower?
Normally Broadway is like 6. I think the average is 6 years.
Yeah.
Memphis took 8 years.
Wow.
Which is that's a Daft Punk in between their records, I guess.
Yeah.
But Diana, because Joe DiPietro said, what about a musical on Princess Diana? I was like, what? Because we're basically she was a year older than us. And I was like, that's unbelievable. And nobody's done it. So people have done smaller ones, but it's never, flourished into anything. I was like, let's try it. And it was 3 years from when we said, let's do this to the stage, because, all we had to do was make it not suck, which we tried really hard not to.
Well, the thing is, being a Tony winner of a best musical, I would assume that 6 years does get cut down.
Not really.
You really don't? Not really? You think so?
It's a subject matter. I mean, you could be a Tony winner and then write Drek. You write Grap and doesn't go anywhere. But this was like Princess Diana, and like.
Well, I mean, it couldn't have been perfect timing with The Crown coming out with everything. I mean, the timing was absolutely perfect. What kills all the timing is the stupid COVID virus. I mean,
but here's the silver lining in the pandemic cloud. So we shut down, And then after I got sick and we were done and I was better, we got a deal with Netflix.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to be streaming it. So we actually went back in. We had a chance to rewrite a bunch of things because during previews you would anyway, but we had a chance to reorder and write a new second song. And we went back in September under strict COVID rules, mask, shield, not seeing anybody, eating in your room alone for a month, and recorded the whole thing. And it's going to be out. I think we don't have a date yet, but it's out very soon. So
Wow.
we'll do that of the show. So it's sort of like a hybrid. It's because we didn't have an audience, so you could have like reverse shots and side shots, and it's really fucking great.
Does that mean it's not going to the stage, Dave?
Yeah, that's
No, then we will. No, then we actually did
wow.
it in the theater.
Right.
So this will be, the greatest calling card for a show that never opened.
Wow,
not
that's
previews.
That's amazing. Our show died.
What was your
because-
show, Colin?
sorry.
What was it?
I'm NDA'd, but like I was so stoked. I can't say anything about anybody involved, but like I'd always wanted to be on Broadway, but never raised a finger to get there because I didn't need two avenues of rejection and hardship. I was like, oh, let me just.
He
stay
also
in
likes
this one.
drinking.
That's
Don't
true.
we all?
Yeah, so but this thing came along. It's very unorthodox. Had like, as big as they come, producers. A lot of stuff was kind of like, I mean, it took a long time between the two creators to make the thing, and we like 2020 was just going to be the most intense, like pre-pro year getting the thing in, and we were due, like we had a theater for September and then October of this year, but we didn't get to be in the room all last year. And if you don't think you're going to be prepared, it's not as if the theater looks how's December. It's like there's too many shows vying for it, and so when we missed the window, the next like opportunity was going to be like 2.5 years later. So
But you take it. I mean, it's the same thing. You're like
right.
How many years? You're like, okay, well, the theater's ready in 2 years. You're like,
Right.
2 years.
I never thought I'd live this long, so who cares? 2 years.
Like, every day's a gift.
Meanwhile, I will tell everybody this is unbelievable. I just found this out when we were putting this together, is that Colin and Gabby completely know each other because they were both on The Voice, the NBC show, or auditioned.
We were auditioned, yeah.
Sorry.
You came with your dad, and we were in SIR over in West 27th or 25th, whatever. And I came with my mate Tony Bruno, who you know, Dave.
Yeah.
So yeah, we
I
met
know,
each other
because
there.
He's on the video of the show.
Oh yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. How well did we do there, Gabby? Do you think? Did we go very far?
I got right up until before TV, which is so funny because I did do it as a joke.
Right.
I was like, you know what, fuck it. It's my 18th birthday. Let me audition for The Voice and go to New York for the day,
You're online, right? Just waiting online.
I was waiting online all day. Like it was nothing. I did music in high school and then I was like, nah, not for me. Like before I even thought about doing The Voice. And then I was like, let's just try it for fun. And I ended up getting all the way to California like right before.
Oh, wow.
TV.
Really?
Yeah, I was
Wow.
like out there for a week of crazy callbacks. And
So
stuff.
you have a great singing voice. I
does.
mean, you have a musical talent as well. Why did you choose stand-up comedy, David? What kind of father are you?
Probably the best.
You know
comedy.
what?
Who would
I'm
choose that
actually the
career?
I know. I'm actually the biggest comedy junkie. I had more comedy records growing up than music.
I know you do. I know you are. But
So this to me is
why would
great.
you want that life for your daughter?
Hey, let her be out of work like me. Why not?
Yeah, the struggle. Bonds, two people.
We're on the retirement tour.
All
He
right. Well,
actually did stand up with me
I
in
did.
February at I had a monthly show in Brooklyn called Jiggy With It, and he would come all the time and watch. And then I was like,
fun.
you should just jump on stage because I had a keyboard player with me, and we would like riff and make up songs and all this stuff. And he kicked the keyboard player off stage and he got on and we did like 15, how long did
30
we do?
minutes.
We did 30 minutes.
oh my gosh.
It
Yeah.
was truly the most frightening experience I've ever gone through in my life. Forget about music. I can play. I got no problem with that. Like telling, at least there was a keyboard so I could be behind it. I'm like, yeah, I'm playing.
And I was like, ew, Brad.
Again, I don't know what song that is, but
Exactly. So I was like, she's like, can't you play anything else? I go, no. I've been in a Bon Jovi cover band my whole life.
It's funny with that opening. I always remember, in 82, 84, 84 that came out, right? And I remember telling my mom, I'm like, no, that's Dave Bryan in the opening. He opens the song. It was very exciting.
I was 20. We recorded. I was 21. I dropped out of Rutgers, Juilliard. I said, okay, I'm doing this. I'm going to join a rock band. I said, I'll try for a year. So I created the gap year. I'm still on my gap year.
Yeah, I still think you made a mistake, but whatever. I guess your mother probably wasn't that pleased either.
I could have been.
You can work it. Listen, there's a Woody Allen documentary called Wild Man Blues. And in that documentary, they go to his parents' house and they're sitting in front of his Oscars. And they're like, well, we wanted him to be a dancer. I think he would have thrived as a dancer. I mean, so it's like your mother's never going to be pleased. Like he should have finished college because
something would you like?
Your
flow.
Doctor.
So wait, you like? Let me tell my one joke. So my one
please
joke,
go ahead.
So I go up on stage with her, and I'm so fucking nervous, and we can say that on TV, right?
Yes.
Fucking yes.
Yes. So no nervous.
Oh, he is good.
What to do?
So I
He's
said,
got it. He's got the shtick.
So I said, okay. And I said, I'm doing it. So I go, so this 80-year-old Jewish couple, Sadie and Morty, they're in bed. Sadie gets up. She goes to the bathroom. She puts on lingerie, sexy lingerie. She jumps out. She yells, super pussy. You know, Morty says, I'll take the soup.
That's pretty good. I should have had you open the show.
Hey, I'll tell you.
Hey.
No, don't worry, Dave. I laughed that much at the start too.
All right, now I'm going to share my screen and we go into the multimedia portion of the show.
Oh,
Guys,
okay.
you ain't ready for this kind of tech.
Oh, a volcano.
Yes, this is a volcano that erupted in Italy this weekend.
Yikes.
And as you can see, it was right here. Here's the map. Here's Greece, and here's Saudi Arabia. And as we can see, the volcano erupted here in Italy. And then this was Athens, full of snow.
Wow.
And this was Saudi Arabia, full of snow.
Holy shit.
What I'm saying is something is going on that is not good.
Eloquent.
And as we know, these camels full of snow, which is, somebody took a picture of them. The only camels that should be snow are tauntauns.
Right.
Those are clearly the only ones that is supposed to, although I don't think it's a real animal because then there wouldn't be this publicity shot. So technically this could be a publicity shot as well.
Is that Daft Punk right there? That's the two of them?
Yeah.
This was a yellow lobster I was showing last week, right, Colin? That was
Excellent.
caught.
Yeah.
A yellow lobster.
Update.
It's 1 in 30 million.
Wow.
And the weird part
It
is,
tastes good.
well, I got angry at this woman, Lauren, just the worst reporting ever because she does not say if it tastes more delicious than a red lobster. That's the worst
crucial
reporting.
to the story.
It tastes
I know.
It tastes like bananas.
The
Why
weird
bananas?
part is that the day after this article came out, this yellow penguin was discovered.
Wow.
So I'm saying
What a dapper lad.
something is going on. Like
Life is better blonde, baby.
all these strange things are happening. And I think it's all due to this woman. This is Brooke Shields, Gabby.
I know.
When
Thank
she
you.
Or
was like
do you?
11.
She would always come down to the cellar and stuff, right?
Oh, is that true?
Yeah. She'd be in a lot on the nights that we'd be playing up in the
I
office.
think she might be a comedy junkie as well. But the problem with Brooke Shields is I think she's the cause of all this because she's falling apart slowly. And I think somehow the world revolves around her. Now, you see, she broke her femur last week, and this was what she posted 2 days ago. And she's trying to get herself better. Right?
Was it a skiing accident? It had to be a skiing, right?
No, I think she's just falling apart.
Oh.
Because this was a picture from a year ago when she had knee surgery.
Okay.
And this was a picture from 2 years ago where she had dental surgery.
Holy Lord.
So I feel like maybe this is all due to her. And if she's falling apart, so is the world.
Maybe she's a weird oracle.
It's a theory.
I like the what do they say at Woodstock? We're not responsible for self-inflicted wounds.
Exactly.
I don't know what her story is, but I don't like it. This is Sarah Michelle Gellar, and she's saying that she's not going to do a Buffy reboot.
That's sad.
But she is producing the Small Wonder reboot, which everybody's really excited about. Am I the only one that gets that joke? Nobody knows what Small Wonder is. Dave, you don't remember?
I don't know.
I know Colin wouldn't know, and I know Gabby wouldn't know. This girl here, I know my sister's laughing while she's watching now. This girl's a robot. And this was a show where she talked like this, and she was a robot in the family. The rest of the family is regular, but this guy built a robot daughter, like Gabby.
Nice.
Yes.
And
Look,
she talks like this. I will do the vacuuming.
I've never said that, so that's how you know I'm not a
She's
robot.
not a robot.
Dave Bryan, you do not remember this show?
I don't.
What were you doing during this? Oh, right. You were a rock star.
You
I mean,
think he
sorry.
remembers the 80s?
That was
Come
a
on.
band. No, that was in the 80s.
Yeah, this was
Think
the
he
80s.
remembers anything? Come on.
Good point.
Who am I?
Speaking of which, do you remember what was that bar we all used to go? My next door neighbors, the Radovonics, used to own on Ford in Ford's also. You
That was
guys
the
always
Ford-
used to what?
The Ford Tavern. It was only one.
No,
place.
no, it was called something else. My neighbors used to own it. Damn it! And you invented the drink Muff Dive.
Oh.
I know you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about, so say more right now.
No, it,
Well,
with
no, it's
John-
an actual
we
drink.
used to go there. Oh, what is the
A
name of that
muff
place?
dive?
Muff
We
dive.
all know what that
Well,
sounds
we
like.
know what it is, but they called this particular drink that.
I haven't even heard that word or that story in a long time.
So what's
Well,
the
what about
With
the
John
one?
all the time?
What about the one in junior high where you broke the bus window, mooning somebody out the window? Can you explain
Everyone
that?
knows that.
I do remember that. I still will not admit it was me, but it was a very good lookalike.
Everyone's talking about it.
Wait, what's in the muff dive? What's the drink?
What is it? Is it a kamikaze with cranberry juice, or
Something like that.
there was something with a cranberry juice added to it, which made it the Muff Dive somehow?
So why is it
It
called
was
a
a-
muff dive?
Because it's once a week. Sorry.
Once a week. That's it.
that,
In a month.
that was one of those great bars. Meanwhile, I also heard through the grapevine that you held a toga party about, I don't know, a couple summers ago, and that the people from in the town in New Jersey that you live in received 24 reports of individual acts of perversion so profound and disgusting that decorum prohibits me from listing them here. Is
No,
that true?
not true.
What?
Not true.
That
Well,
was
the
me.
line was from Animal House, but I did hear about a toga party.
No. We have a white party where you dress up in all white.
Can't say that.
You can't say that anymore, David.
White clothing?
Why
clothing?
wasn't I invited? That's what I was trying to figure out. If there was a toga party, toga.
It was just a party.
This happened in New Zealand on Saturday. All these people were together for a concert because New Zealand has handled the coronavirus perfectly, and they're back to business. And this was some band called 660 or something, and the guys don't look like what you thought they would. That's not the band I thought that they were going to look like, but this is the band. Do
No,
you see? Can you see it?
Yeah. I like that they let the accountant in.
Yeah. Well, that would be my rule.
You know,
But,
accountants make the greatest rock stars.
Oh, yeah.
These are,
Oh,
these guys don't know from.
They're
a real
yellow too.
audience. What?
They're yellow too.
Mhm.
Well, you would know because you were there.
They know.
That's see, this is a fucking crowd.
Good God.
That's a goddamn crowd. These guys don't know from shit. And those guys aren't rock and rollers. These are rock stars. Those guys got to get the message.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that crowd. That's unbelievable. That was during COVID too.
Yeah.
That was just at our house.
Yeah.
That was at the toga party.
That was
Here's-
the fun party.
Here's me and Lee Maracus at the crowd at the Nets game. I thought that would be fun. I don't know. Okay, so
There you go.
there's the poster for David's new show, which will come out eventually. It is still rescheduled, right?
Hopefully, they were saying, whoever they are, is that the powers that be that Broadway should be back in the fall. We would have herd immunity, so go herd, and
Again,
by the summer. And
yeah,
then-
we had David Yazbek on the show in and around, I guess, November, and he wasn't so sure that would be the case.
That's what they were saying, though. They were announcing that Fauci was saying that, I think, herd immunity by the summer, so the world can get back.
They probably didn't. We didn't know about the virus when he mentioned that. So wouldn't that be something else? I mean, the question is, and this is the thing with the Comedy Cellar, is that it just probably won't be like a sellout until maybe 2022, because there'll be people that are afraid, or there'll be mitigating
I don't know.
factors, but
I kind of disagree because there were all these outdoor shows this fall and summer for comedy, and everything was so sold out. People are so
well, I think outdoor was
dying.
different though.
Yeah, but there were indoor ones. There were sneaky little indoor ones too.
Oh, yeah?
People are just dying to.
Yeah, but are you talking about your age group or people that go to see Broadway?
Yeah, I only see people 30 and below, so I don't even register. You guys don't register, guys.
See what I'm saying?
But tourism, like England is vaccinated. Everybody's vaccinating, so it's ramping up. So like I said, it's please.
Gina.
There's
This-
China.
David, this is the song that you, I guess, released from Diana. Is it called If?
It's called If Like the World.
It's fantastic.
Thank you.
It's great. Anybody, you can see this on YouTube. The video was fantastic. Did you film this during COVID?
No,
No.
wait. Before
Oh.
we wanted to do something like different than a Broadway role, like make a rock video
That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
like-
It's great.
on a rooftop overlook.
Yeah.
We were in Brooklyn overlooking New York.
Overlooking the city. It's fantastic. That's why I thought maybe it was COVID because it's just the two of you and you're in this space. So I wasn't sure when it was done, but it's so well done. The video is so much fun. I love that you're in it. You don't see that often, but why not put you in it? You're different than most composers. So it's like, you already have a fan base and everything. And she was terrific.
She's unreal.
I put the
She's-
poser and composer. There you go.
But it's such a great song. I really, really liked it. It totally psyched me up for the musical. I'm very excited to see it.
Thank you.
Really terrific song. Anybody can see it. So this was the Toxic Avenger, which was this before Memphis or after?
This was actually in betwixt.
I always
That
thought it
one
was
comes southern,
before.
but we did it. We came out with Memphis. Memphis opened, not that I know, October 19th in 2009. And then once it opened, then we opened up Toxic Avenger at New World Stages. So that year, in 2010, we actually won for the best on Broadway. We won the Tony, 3 Tonys. And then we won for the best off-Broadway show at the same time.
Wow. I didn't know. I thought for some reason I thought this was first. And I guess the reason I thought it was is because my mother saw this play at the George Street Playhouse in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Yep, that's where we did it before.
And she loved it. And I was like, wait, you liked the Toxic Avenger? Because my mother is, Rhoda, she doesn't like this kind. I mean, look, this is the movie. I know this movie very well because Lawrence Lerman, if you remember him from the old days, used to work for Lloyd Kaufman. So I remember when this movie came out. And I mean, this is the movie.
Yeah.
And
Ours is way different. Ours is
well,
ours is
obviously,
the first superhero of New Jersey.
right. But it's like my mother was not going to like a movie saying featuring the full head crushing scene. I mean, it's just so funny that you must have I didn't get to see it, but it must be unbelievable if my mother would like something like as crazy as this. And the idea was, how did you even think to make a musical of this? How was this in your head?
I think we were in between Memphis and we had finished it. And then Joe DiPietro said, what about Toxic Avenger? I was like, okay.
But what about Toxic? Why would you even think of that? Nobody would think of that.
Because he's a maniac, and he was like, he goes, it's not going to be the movie. I said, write a treatment of it. And it was the first superhero of New Jersey. I was like, well, that's funny right off the bat.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that was the
and then complete different story. It's the evil mayor of Tromaville, exit 13B on the turnpike.
There is no 13B. Oh, I see.
Exactly.
Sorry.
And then she was taking kickbacks from New York to dump toxic waste in New Jersey.
Oh.
So Melvin Ferd III finds her out, and then her goons dump him in a vat of toxic goo, and he comes out as the Toxic Avenger. And it's so stupid, it's funny. So,
Right.
So
It's
cool.
the funniest. It's actually laugh out loud fun.
I was very
You
upset.
can-
I didn't get.
You
I
can
like to
see it
see
on
everything.
Broadway HD.
Oh, you
Actually,
can. I was just
don't-
about to ask, is there some way to see it now? What's
Yeah,
Broadway
Broadway
HD?
HD.
It's like a site.
Yeah, BroadwayHD.com.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because I try and see everything, and I was upset that I didn't get to see this. The weird part is I'm actually in the Toxic Avenger 2 as an extra.
Nice.
Shut up.
No, I swear to God. I have
so
such.
Juskow.
It's-
So
I know.
Juskow.
I've been around this movie for so long I can't get rid of
Jesus.
it. Here you are and your lovely family, your very white looking family. Did you ever think you'd have good looking family members like this?
The longer I know him, that's a good thing, I guess, right?
This is you winning for Memphis, right? Look at you.
Yep.
And I
That's
mean,
awesome.
what an unbelievable deal for, Gabby. And I guess I didn't even know you had a son. I suppose this is him.
We're twins.
They're twins.
Oh, is that right?
That's awesome.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
My
And
youth.
the funny thing is this was our family. We're disgusting. This
That's
was
an
taken.
iconic photo.
As you can see, my sister is dressed to kill Superman.
He knows.
And and where we were going when this was taken was Rustler Steakhouse, right by the Menlo Park Cinema.
Oh, T-Bone week.
My
Hell
father
yeah.
always took us out for T-Bone week.
Wait, you can get a T-bone for $2.99.
This is Mr. Lerman's car.
That was in 1806.
No, this was right by the Menlo Park Mall.
No, that's a spaghetti western.
Listen, Dave, we went there. That was our Friday night treat. We went to the Rustler Steakhouse.
So you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Well, we called it the Wrestler because you had to wrestle that steak down.
It was gross. I used to work there for 2 years.
For $3, you're not getting a good fucking steak.
I worked there.
That's why we called it
Just
Wrestle.
a bone.
But that was going out. You're like, woo!
Yeah. And but Dave, the picture I was looking for, and there's nowhere to find it, is South Pacific. That's the one I was looking for, which was going to be the gag. This was this amazing Polynesian restaurant the entire neighborhood went to, and there was pictures of Bon Jovi all over the place. And I used to ask them, they said, when are you going to put your picture up to me? And I finally got one up, and that was the day they closed down.
That was the place on Woodbridge Avenue.
Yeah, right off the Turnpike exit,
Yep.
right by the Hess station.
Yep.
That's the picture I was looking for.
We were world famous in.
You were world
in-
famous there. It was sick. Remember they had the poo-poo platter.
Oh yeah, who doesn't love a good poo poo platter?
Come on.
Hey,
But Dave, I couldn't find a picture. The only one I could find was of Arcadian Gardens. I couldn't decide what was the funnier gag.
You old Jews.
Yeah,
I'll
we
tell
were
you.
old. This was the mall next to our house, and this sign was, we could see it all from our houses. This was like the Empire State Building for us,
That was our Northern Lights,
right?
Horrible.
our Aurora Borealis. Hey now,
Oh, hello.
This is Gabby's podcast, the Unabashed Podcast. This isn't your roommate, is it?
That is my roommate, best friend, life partner, Zach Senior.
I see him with you a lot. I wasn't sure.
He is my gay fiance.
Oh yes, I thought he might be gay, but I didn't want to bring it up just in
Yeah.
case.
I think it's more than might. He's 100%.
But what do you talk about on the podcast?
We kind of just gab and gab and gab. We talk about sex, who we're having sex with. Dad, close your ears. I'm a virgin.
Yeah.
We
How
talk
can you-
about who he's having sex with. We talk about just being two young, gorgeous people in Brooklyn.
Sounds like something that wouldn't interest, me and your father, but sure, I could see where.
It's more relatable than you think. In that it's not relatable if you are you.
No, I and then this I saw. This is your newsletter. I just saw it before on your Instagram. I'm like, oh, I didn't know, if you had something else to plug.
Yes, I have a comedy newsletter called You've Got Mail, Bitch. And every month you just get comedic essays that I write.
And do you want to tell your dad and everybody what you get if you sign up for it?
you get a car. Oh, sorry.
Close.
That's Oprah.
I said a blowjob.
I just saw that 5 minutes
hard
before
to
we
some
went on.
That's a job.
It's a job. You gotta get a job these days.
All right, now.
Dave, you look great there.
Thank you. Gabby, this is why I like you and why I think your father did an outstanding job of raising you. You love that your dad is a member of one of the greatest bands of all time, and Bon Jovi, and you love it, and you celebrate it, and it's just really wonderful because there's so many people that get nervous, like, oh, my mom used to be in Full House. I don't know if I don't want to talk about, whatever, like something like that. A lot of people are like,
being Full House.
well, yeah, I was talking about Lori Loughlin, but that's an embarrassment now. But
Okay.
before, I'm just saying, there's always these people. They're like, I don't want to talk about it because I'm my own person, whatever. And of course, you're your own person and you're finding your way in the world. But you love that your dad is in Bon Jovi, and that's so
Cool.
great because this is a picture of a girl I used to go out with whose mom I was absolutely in love with, and she never wanted to talk about it. And that's all I wanted to talk about. And I think because she never wanted to talk about her, I got obsessed with talking about her mother. So if she was just a little bit more open about it, it probably wouldn't have happened. And Dave, no offense, but her mom is way more amazing than you are. No offense. It's Ginger from Gilligan's Island. Thank you so much, folks. I'm here all week.
That's cool.
Dave, I think you agree. This woman.
Ginger was like, if you're going to be on an island, that's who you want to be.
And I had all these questions. I'm like, now listen, in episode 34, when your mom was kissing Gilligan, was there anything? Was there sparks there? I think she had just about enough. And that's why I always think it's great that I love that you and your dad just appreciate it. And here's Rabbi Landsberg.
Nice.
Oh my God. That is a throwback.
Well, you got to send me that.
Oh my God, that's like triggering for me.
Hold on. I'm going to take a picture of that.
I didn't know he was still alive.
Oh my God, that triggers me for just like sitting in temple.
Remember when he adopted that black son and we were all shocked? And
do you guys want to help the goyim out here? What's going on?
Okay, that is a rabbi
Dave
from,
and I.
the temple that I grew up in, and obviously it was their temple.
We grew up in.
Yeah, in Edison, Rabbi Landsberg. Everyone loved him, but as a child there, you did zone out. Like I think I saw black every time I was watching a sermon. I literally am just triggered thinking of wearing stockings and fucking patent black shoes. Bored out of my mind.
And Dave used to blow the chauffeur. Thank you. So no, but it was amazing, and it was a big deal because you were blowing it on the high holidays before Bon Jovi, and then when you got into the band, everybody was so excited. It was like the best part of the holiday. It really was very exciting. And then you were dressed in the leather and everything. It was, and they bought you that huge ram's horn. Remember, like they were using that little shofar that you see, but then they
had to wait for the guy to die. Remember, the only way to get the job was the guy died. They're like, okay, you're up, kid.
Oh, that's right. I was up for it for a little bit, and my mother just didn't push for me. And then you came along, and there was no way to win. But yeah, you did that for years. We had left the temple, but my mother got in a huge fight with the rabbi. We had to leave. The classic story.
Hold on, I got a text in from Micah Brownwood. Said it's the Liberty Tavern in Ford.
Was not the Liberty Tavern. He's wrong.
Oh, there
You're
you
wrong.
It's not. Liberty Tavern is by Dennis Memorial Field where we played baseball, and by Route 9. That's not where. That is not nice going, Lippy. Anyway. These are our friends from high school. But, so Colin, are you nervous to play in front of Dave?
Yes.
This is the part of the show where we...
So Colin was going to say that we met twice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We did meet twice.
I just picked out of the ether.
I forgot that we did that off the air.
The first time was hanging out on Bleecker Street. You were hanging out with my pal Gavin DeGraw, and we ended up in
Gav.
And we ended up in Terra Blues at the same time.
Yeah. I love that guy.
Yeah, we were hammered at 3 a.m. Oh, you did?
Yeah,
really?
He's a good friend. He came and he was so funny. I wanted him to sing this one song, and he was like, "I'm a little nervous. Can I sing one of my songs?" I'm like,
"Aw, Gavin,
like, you're nervous." I went,
"Sure."
Yeah,
we're pals like the longest. We kind of both arrived at the same time, and like we were like the blue-eyed soul kids on the street, and he got signed to one side of thing, and we got signed to another, and he did something with it.
Nice.
Yeah, he's awesome. All right, so yeah, this is something from around that time, and yeah, it's a blaster. So let's see. This is called "Let Me In." I'll give myself a little reverb. Do we have it?
Yeah,
nice.
Reverb.
Super. All right. Sound all right?
Yep.
Is it distorting or no?
No, it's perfect.
Okay, cool. This is the way I talk over all my songs. It's exceptional how all the people here at this party are so agreeable, comprehensible. How the things that they got that I need are coincidental. And I don't suppose that as late nights goes, this is a special one. I'm one who knows that the use their nose is our routine. Are you gonna let me in? Gonna let me in? Are you gonna let me in? Gonna let me in? Was it obvious when I laughed at the jokes that were so hilarious? Dave? Be curious if before with all my ideas was I too serious? Cause lately I find in my flexi mind that I'm a well-liked man. I'm not one of those to turn up their nose at our routine. Are you gonna let me in? Gonna let me in? Are you gonna let me in? Gonna let me in? I don't suppose for 1 minute know that I'm a special one. You do realize when this bird flies, you fall in his space. Yeah. Ooh, are you in? I wanna know. Are you gonna let me in? You gonna let me in? Are you gonna let me in? Gonna let me in? And I don't suppose for 1 minute know that I'm the special one. And the man inside says if I wait in line, he might let me in.
What is the name of that song? I'm just kidding.
It's called
That was awesome, Colin. I feel like the two guys in the back would be very proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
You have such a good voice.
Thank you
And
very
I'm
much.
rocking.
Yeah, but how come you got further on the voice than he did? Where does that make sense?
Because I blame it on Tony Bruno. I blame it on Tony Bruno.
Yeah, we'll blame it on Tony Bruno.
Yeah.
Fuck Tony Bruno.
Well, that is our show for today. I went a little longer because it was so much fun and really interesting. Dave, so the Netflix, the Diana's gonna come out on Netflix. When is that coming out? Do we know?
I don't have a date yet, but soon-ish, within the next 2-3 months.
And any Bon Jovi announcements?
Yes, we're going to be out. Not in 2020. No, there is nothing yet.
Isn't that unbelievable? It's like this is the worst part of the show because I'm always like want comics to plug their dates, and I'm like, yeah, I got nothing.
We got a bag of nothing working.
I have
Yeah.
therapy tomorrow and the day after.
Yeah, and Gabby, your podcast, the Unabashed podcast, obviously, and I've seen your website. You had so many dates. I was very jealous, and they were all from last year because there's nothing going on.
I had a LA tour planned that got canceled. So plugging that thing that didn't happen. Just listen to my podcast. I'm also a producer on and a character on YKWD podcast.
Oh, you still do that? I thought you hadn't. I thought you weren't doing that anymore with Robert Kelly.
I do. Robert Kelly, shout out my comedy dad. I do his podcast and sign up for my newsletter. That's probably the biggest thing. Yeah.
Yes, because if you see Instagram today, there's plenty of reasons to do that.
There's one big reason that we mentioned to blow the shofar, and yeah.
And Colin, obviously, your song "Is It Ever Now" is available on iTunes. Do you have anything else?
Actually, I'm just got excited because I got queued up for the next single, which is being produced actually by a chap that plays with John, and then sometimes I think in the band. You know, Greg Mayo.
I don't.
Guitar. Okay.
Like I
Anyway,
do.
he's my pal, and he's yeah. So anyway, to more details to come, but yeah, the
That's
single's
cool.
up at the moment. And
I loved your single. I listened to it.
Oh, thanks.
So
Thanks
good.
so much.
Yeah, this was a real pleasure, and I really appreciate you guys coming on today and doing this. It's really, really exciting.
We can finish it off at that.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. Well, you know what's funny is that I don't want to interrupt. That's why people get angry if I talk over it. The funny thing is, Colin plays at the way we met is he plays at the Comedy Cellar at the Olive Tree with the owner Noam, and they have a little band that they put together on Fridays and Saturdays. It's amazing. Colin gets to sing and play, and it's great. And sometimes they let me and Mateo Lane sing with them. And the first time I went on, the only song I knew by heart was "Living on a Prayer." And I sang that in front of Colin Quinn and Esty, and I think they were just looking at me like, "What the hell is the matter with this guy?"
It's the key change will kill you on that one. I'll
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
you.
It's
the key
brutal.
change. I immediately went I went lower.
Step
instead.
and a half.
Yeah.
That
Change.
can John even do that key change anymore? I mean,
We do.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is my part.
So I don't.
Just trying to find it.
You don't do this on stage, do you?
It's brutal.
So high.
Yeah. It's when
It's
you're a
so
kid,
odd.
you're like, we could do that. And then you go, "Ah!"
It is so, and that's the best thing, Dave, is that, you know, again, when before we went on the air, you were playing it. You enjoy the fact that you're part of this legendary band. You don't mind playing it. It's not like you're a lot of rock stars. They're just, you're fun. And that clearly you pass that on to your daughter. I think that's a really terrific thing. Like I really, really do. It's great.
You should
I
have
love
fun.
that.
I mean, why wouldn't you love what you do? You know?
We're all just
Because
I was just gonna
I'm a
say, like,
comic and I know other comics and they're idiots. So that's what I'm saying.
But it's like even you catch in music a lot. You find a lot of musicians that don't have the joy in music. I'm like,
That's
how
what I'm
did you
saying.
End up here.
Why do
Like,
it? It's hard enough. If you don't
so
like it, what
strange.
the fuck?
Because
Yeah.
we know a lot of depressing, annoying people. We
Yeah.
don't know the right people, which is why, you know,
You got to get different friends.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. You gotta get new friends.
my best friend is David Tell. I'll leave you with that. Listen, next week on the show, Jim Norton and Jim Florentine will be joining us so we can
Two of the
continue
best.
our New Jersey theme. I think Jim Norton was actually born on Fox Road in Edison by
he
the Great
really?
Eastern Flea Market.
I love Norton.
We were born on the same
Sure.
block. I lived there too. What?
In a winter storm at the flea market. Ah!
Right across from
Boy.
Boceri's. And the week after that, Rachel Feinstein and Cypher Sounds will be joining us. So
Yay.
we have lots to do on the Comedy Cellar Nightly Show every Tuesday night at 7. Don't forget, you can come down to the Olive Tree in the Comedy Cellar on McDougal Street every night for dinner for a period of time, as long as they allow 25 or 35% starting next Sunday. So please come down, support the club. We we can't wait to open the club and put on the shows the way we used to here at the Comedy Cellar. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and we'll
Thank
see you
you.
next week